morning, everyone. Thanks for those tips about the allergy medication, Mary. I wasn't aware of that, so I'm glad to learn something new this morning there. So, okay, let's go ahead and get ready, guys. We're either going to be standing or seated, and we're going to really lengthen through that spine, okay? And we're going to do our chin tucks for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Maintaining that length. Head turns. Here we go. Turn, center, turn, center. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, we're going to go transition into the warm-up. Round 1, I'll do seated. We're going to start with our 4-count cherry picker. So if you're standing or seated, your feet are about shoulder width apart. We're going to bend and reach out, middle and in, and then return up. Okay, we've got 4 exercises rotating through for 3 rounds. Let's get ready and begin. Here we go. We're going to reach out, middle, in, up. Okay, I think we're just warming up the back side of the body here, warming up the hips. You're not forcing your body to go further than it wants to go. Just loosening up here. 5 more seconds. 2 and 1. Okay, ooh, that's noisy this morning. Okay, now we have 4 jumping jacks, okay, to 4 knees, seated or standing. So we're going to do jack, 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 and then knee, 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 knee. Okay, so just repeating 4. If these arms are no good for you, do the T-fly arms, okay, which looks like this, T. Okay, so if going overhead hurts your shoulders, switch it up. But you can just 4 count. 1, 2. All right, time on that one. We're coming back to that, okay? Next, we're going to do hip circles. So about shoulder width apart, seated or standing. Standing, they look like this, okay? Seated, they look like this. We're going to switch halfway through. So I'll tell you to switch directions after we do 15 seconds this side. Get ready in 3, 2, 1, switch it. Circling in the other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We are going back to our 4 jumping jacks to 4 high knees. Okay, remember, if this is an irritation to your shoulders, come this way. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Ten more seconds here, and that's round 1. 3, 2, and 1. Good. If you're seated and you'd like to stay there, go ahead. I'm going to move to standing for the next 2 rounds. And we're starting with 4-count cherry pickers again. So feet are right outside the shoulders here, reaching out, middle, in, bring it up. Middle, in, up. You don't have to get those fingers to the floor if they don't want to go there. Don't force them. Okay, we don't want to pull anything. We're just kind of warming everything up right now. The warmer the body gets, the more mobile it gets through our joints and our muscles. Okay, there we go. Going back to our 4 jumping jacks to 4 high knees. Ready? And begin. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. If you would like to do some regular jumping jacks, if you're advanced, You can do that as well. And move at your own pace, okay? So you got to find that rhythm and coordination that works for you. And time, okay? Whew. Hip circles are next. Seated or standing, about shoulder width apart with the feet, okay? Nice wide base here. We're gonna rotate around. All right, squeeze your glutes. When you're coming forward and you're standing, squeeze the glutes, okay? So it doesn't put too much pressure on your lower back. 3, 2, 1, switch directions. Okay, so ball and socket joint, we're just warming up those hips, the hip joint. 3, 2, and 1. And now we're back to 4 jumping jacks, so 4 high knees. Remember, you can take the arms this way if you feel better doing it that way. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Two, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And time, okay. One more time through. All right, one more time through, starting with the 4 count cherry pickers, okay? Wider than shoulder width apart with the feet. We're reaching outwards, middle, in, and up, whether you're seated or standing. Ten more seconds here. 2 and 1. Okay, all done with those. 4 jumping jacks to 4 high knees, okay? If you're starting to feel like too much intensity with this, pick 1, okay? Otherwise, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Two, 3, 4. 5 more seconds here. 2 and 1. Okay. Hip circles, 15 seconds each direction, whether you're seated or standing. Okay. Let's get ready in 3, 2, and 1. Back. Squeeze the glutes as your hips come forward. Okay. Imagine that ball and socket joint in your hips, right? That you're rotating around, right? Switch directions. Five more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. And now one more round of 4 jumping jacks to 4 high knees. And remember, you can just pick one. You can pick the other one now if you'd like, if it's becoming a little too intense doing the back to back. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. 10 more seconds. Then we're going to go into conditioning, our cardio block. 2, 3, and 4. Time. Okay, guys. Warm up block is done. That was 8 minutes of work. Go ahead and get a drink. So we are going to be doing a little bit different today. We're going to do 3 blocks for the workout portion, okay? And the first block we're getting ready to do right now will also be the last block we're doing. We're going to repeat this block twice, and it is 10 minutes long. We're going to have a block in the middle that's 12 minutes long. 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 10 minutes. You're going to take your rest as you need it within that time, okay? So this is a 40 seconds of work, 10 seconds of transition time. Remember, that's just a guide. You can take more or less time as you need it, okay? And we're doing AB style. So there is, how many is there? There's 6 exercises, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, there's 6. We're gonna do AB, AB, the next 2, AB, AB, and then the last 2, AB, AB. 4 rounds all together when you put it in the first block and then the second block, okay? So we are starting with, some of them we know, 3 count knee repeater, 2, 3, back, switch, 2, 3, okay? Seated, we don't have to worry about that back switch. We're just gonna switch legs because we're seated and we don't have to adjust. Bob and weave, that slip rope is next, as we've been doing, okay? When we're seated, remember, we just stay a little wider and we extend through the spine, okay? Then we're gonna do V step. So we're gonna alternate each time. Okay, this is basically going to look the same seated. We're just not moving forward and back when we do it. Rope pull. Remember, when you're standing, you are solid through here. I'm squeezing here. I'm squeezing in my glutes. I'm squeezing in my quads. I want that to feel like a nice, intense pull, okay? And then after that, we have lateral 2-step, knee, lateral 2-step, knee. Seated, that'll be lateral 2, knee, lateral 2, knee, okay? And then last but not least, we're going to do 4 jabs. 1, 2, 3, 4, squat, squat. 1, 2, 3, 4, squat, squat, okay? You can slow that down. You do not have to go at the pace I just showed. I'm just trying to be a little quick during our explanation, okay? Or seated, 1, 2, 3, 4, leg extension, okay? Round 1, I will do seated. I'm gonna guide you through. We're gonna do 2 exercises at a time, back and forth. I'll guide you through it all, okay? 40 seconds of work. So let's go ahead and get ready here. Starting with our 3 count knee repeater, alternating, okay? In 3, 2, and 1, here we go. I'm seated, so 1, 2, 3. I don't have to worry about the switch off to lead leg. I can just start on the other leg. Exhale, exhale, exhale. I'm thinking when I'm doing this, exhale, exhale, exhale. Okay, I'm getting that air out of my stomach so I can feel the crunch that happens as my knee lifts up. Remember, the 40 seconds is just a guide. If you need to stop early or start late, that's what you need to do. Go ahead and do it, okay? And always don't wait to take your drinks. If you feel like you need a drink, just take it, okay? All right, next we have our bob and weave, okay? So for the seated variation, I don't have the step with the feet. I'm just going under the slip rope, okay? I'm trying to maintain in the seated variation that length through the spine. Since this is an AB format, we're gonna go ahead and repeat our knee repeater next. We're gonna go back to our first exercise. Move at your own rhythm and tempo. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, going back to our 3 count knee repeater, the first one that we just did. All right, let's get ready. And I'll go to standing for the second set because this is a little different. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, back, forward. Ten more seconds. Then we're going back to our bob and weave. 2, and 1. Okay, back to that bob and weave, either seated, just working on lengthening the spine, keeping the legs wide, or if you're standing, we got that imaginary rope, you're stepping under and over. You can really see how this is really mimicking our side step squats. Okay, so it's kind of sneaking a squat pattern in with some abduction and adduction. So that's working the inner and outer thighs, as well as the glutes and hamstrings and quads. Okay, moving on to the next two. We have V-step and rope pull. Okay, remember, out, out, in, and switch. Okay, seated, out, out, in, in. Oops, same side twice. Three, 2, and 1. Okay, next we have that rope pull. Okay, so I want you to isometrically hold everything nice and tight, especially if you're standing. If you're seated, we have a little help from the chair, but we're pulling down. We're using our lats with a little intensity, coming across the body, right? Working this area right here, okay? You don't want to put so much intensity that you hurt yourself, but it should feel like you've exerted yourself a little bit, like, whew. Almost done this one, 10 more seconds, and then we're going back to V-step. 5, 2, and 1. Excellent. Back to V-step. All right, I'm going to go standing for the second set. Let's get ready. In 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Move at your own pace. Slow it down if you need to. And if you feel you need that drink of water, please, by all means, your hydration is very important. Ten more seconds. 2, and 1. Woo, okay. Rope pull, all right. Remember, if you're standing, everything's nice and squeeze, 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 okay? Nice and, this doesn't move in the middle, right? The trunk of your body doesn't move. Ten more seconds here. I'm going to have 2 more exercises to go through. And I'll give us 10 minutes of movement. Time. Okay, last 2 are our lateral 2-step to knee raise. Step together, step, knee, step together, step, knee. Okay, ready? Here we go. Remember to make sure your movement syncs with your thoughts on it, right? So you don't want to be letting your mind go faster than your body can perform. So, remember to slow it down. If I'm going too fast here, you can always slow it down. to get nice intentional movement here, okay? All right, next one is our 4 jabs, 3, 4, and then 2 squats, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. For me, I'm doing leg extension, leg extension. Leg extension, leg extension. Two, 3, 4. And last 2 and 1. Good. Back to the top again with those 2. So lateral 2-step to knee raise, or lateral abduction to knee raise. Ready? And begin. Step together. Step. You want to take this into a grapevine. If you remember doing the grapevine and step classes back in the day, go ahead for something different. Five seconds. 2 and 1. Okay. 4 jabs to 2 squats. Okay. Feet are about shoulder width apart. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Squat. Squat. 2, 3, 4. You can slow it down too. 1, 2, 3, 4. 15 seconds left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, and 1. Good. All right. So what we just did there was 10 minutes of work. Whew, listen, I feel that. We're going to do that again. Okay. So you already kind of know what it is we're going to be doing at the end here, because it's the same exact thing. Okay. That'll give us 4 rounds opposed to our 3. All right. So our next is our strength work. You do not, if you don't want to use dumbbells here, you don't have to, or weights, water bottles, whatever you're using. You can just simply go through your range of motion and just focus on mind muscle connection. Okay. So it's a 12-minute block. Okay. There are 4 exercises. We are starting with our overhead press. We've been doing this one, seated or standing. It's single, single, double, single, single, double. Okay. If overhead is a no-go for you, bicep curls, but the same pattern, single, single, double. Okay. And maybe you want to do 2 rounds with the overhead and 1 with the bicep. Okay. So play around if you'd like to put a little more variety in there. Okay. All right. After that, we have our alternating lunge. We didn't get rid of that one. So remember, our seated is our leg press alternating. And then our standing alternating lunge, my imaginary chair back right here. Okay. And then after that, we're going to go into some bent elbow. We haven't done these in a while, but super healthy. Okay. T-fly, right? Internal rotation, external rotation together. Okay. That looks the same seated or standing. All right. And then our final one is our hinge to row. So seated, we're hinging, row, standing up, right? This is a tried and true. We've done this one from the start. Right? Okay, guys. So strength work coming up here. 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of transition time. We're going to start with our single, single, double. Overhead press or bicep curl. Round 1, I will be seated. Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. So now we're just doing circuits. All right, we're not doing A, B, A, B. We're just doing all 4 in a row for 3 rounds. This is a 12-minute block. I'm keeping my core and glutes engaged. You don't have to worry about the glutes as much when you're seated, but when you're standing, you want to make sure you're keeping those strong and tight. Helps protect the lower back. 3, 2, and 1. Good. All right. Now we are going into our alternating lunge, moving to a lower body move. All right. So I'm seated. So I'm going to do my alternating leg press at the edge of my chair, holding on to the side, scooped out slightly here. And here we go. Remember, think of the quality of your movement and really trying to focus on mind muscle connection. There's 2 ways you can really preserve and build muscle. One is through mind muscle connection, and the other is through progressive overload, which means continuously increasing your weights over a period of time, or your repetitions. Okay, so focusing on the mind muscle connection is a little bit more of where you want to start, because you need to have that connection first. Okay. All right, so next we're going to do our bent elbow fly to internal and external rotations. I wouldn't go heavier than maybe 1 pound or so here. Otherwise, just go body weight. Okay, so out, down. And this is another one. If you're standing up, make sure those glutes are squeezed, because we have a tendency when we're pulling back right here, we have a tendency, if our glutes aren't squeezed, our belly might want to pop forward, creating too much curvature in our lower back, which can produce pain. Okay, so keep the glutes engaged and tucked. I like to call these prehab exercises. Okay, so trying to keep good, along with our strength training, doing good mobility work to help keep our joints and the smaller connecting muscles around those joints in good working function. Okay, the last one is our hinge to row. Okay, so we're getting our hamstrings, glutes, lower back, as well as our lats. Here we go. We're going to hinge, row, squeeze the glutes to bring your body up, right back down. Remember, I'm trying to keep a nice neutral spine. I'm not rounding through the shoulders. And when I'm doing the row, when I'm pulling the dumbbells up with my elbows, I'm really focused on my lats and my upper body. Those muscles behind on the back of the rib cage there. Ten more seconds here. And then we are back to the top for round 2. 2 and 1. Okay, so if you're seated and you want to stay there, please do. I'm going to demo and standing for the next 2 rounds. And we are starting with our single, double again. Actually, I'm going to move the chair back. I got ceiling fan going on right here. So here we go. Single, double. Remember, if this is too much for your shoulders, single, double. Okay. If you're standing, those glutes are engaged. Show you that side view. So here's me tucked with my glutes engaged, right? Try to tuck that in to keep my lower back nice and neutral. If I'm not thinking about that, I might let my belly come forward. I might look a little more exaggerated through here. We don't want that. We want right here, okay? 3, 2, and 1. Okay, moving on to our alternating lunges, okay? Either you're doing your seated leg press, holding onto the back of the chair or the side of the chair, or not holding onto the chair, okay? There's a lot of different levels. Remember, the main thing is creating that mind muscle connection. Like you're working that front leg, all right? I wanna feel as I'm pressing up, especially, I wanna feel that muscle contraction. If you're super advanced and you wanna hold a weight, you can do that too. But that's only if you know you're at that level. Remember, this right here, lunges are a basic movement pattern. We want excellence in the basics. We want quality, and we want consistency with them. All right, next one, bent elbow fly. Either no weight or very, very lightweight. Say like 1 pound here for our fly with internal and external rotation. Here we go. Out, down, up. Squeezing the glutes, just like that first one here, squeezing the glutes here. If not, I might have a tendency to do this, which is uncomfortable on my lower back. So I want to go like this. See that difference? Five more seconds here. 2 and 1. Okay, on to our hinge and row. Okay, last one in this circuit. Hinge and row, bottom of round 2. Feet are underneath the hips, toes are forward. Push those hips back, nice neutral spine, row it. Squeeze the glutes to stand it up, right back down again. So when we're hinged over and pulling up, we're working the back. And then we're working the glutes and hamstrings when we use the glutes to stand back up straight. It's one of our 2-for-1 exercises. Ten more seconds here, and then we're going to start our final round. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, back to the top for our final set. Take your drinks as you need it. So we're back to single, single, double, either overhead pressing or bicep curls. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Single, single, and double. Engaging those glutes, right? Keeping the core tight. I find when we just naturally, when we tuck our pelvis and engage the glutes, our core, our abdomen, that part of our core turns on just by that pelvic tuck and that squeeze of the glutes. Ten more seconds. 5. And time. Nice work. Okay. Final time with our lunges. All right. So, or our seated leg press. Okay. You're going to pick which one works for you. I'm going to show an example of how you might use a weight if you're advanced here. You could do 1 here. This is going to actually challenge your core a little bit more, having it up. Okay. All right, this is actually, even though the weight wouldn't be as much, this could be a little more challenging than if you have weights on either side, because this is kind of like lower to the ground, right? And your weight's even on either side. Here, the weight's higher, so you have to balance a lot more, okay? So this is your advanced, super advanced option. You don't have to do this here. Two and 1. Whew, okay, all done with those. Elbow fly to internal, external rotation. Feet either 1 pound or no weight here. I'll do one without weight. Seated, you don't have to worry about this as much, but standing, tuck and curl the pelvis. Think about how this promotes healthy posture, okay? When you're pulling back this way, you're using those back muscles in the upper back and shoulders to pull your posture up. And you're also, when you're pulling this way, you're stretching through here, which if they're tight, helps loosen them up, which also promotes good posture. That internal and external rotation keeps good mobility through the shoulder joint. 2, and time. All done with those. Final exercise is our hinge to row, okay? Working on the lats and the whole back side here, okay? So we're gonna get ready to hinge. 2, 1, push the hips back, row, squeeze the glutes up. Past halfway, we break after this. Ten more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, guys, rework. That was 12 minutes right there, 12-minute block. All right, that's a little longer than we've been doing. And we are on to our last block, which was exactly what the first block is. Okay, so we're going to finish off with some more cardio. You already kind of have an idea of what it is. I'm going to do these 2 rounds standing just because I demoed seated in round 1. So go ahead and get your drink. It's a 40-10 ABAB. 6 exercises, 2 rounds. All right, so let's get ready here. We're going to start with that 3-count knee repeater. Okay. All right, so remember, seated, you don't have to worry about the switch off with the leading foot. You just go to the other side. Here we go in 3, 2, and 1. 2, 3, 4. We're done with our knee repeater. We're going into our bob and weave again. That lateral side step and going under the rope. 2, and 1. I'm gonna finish off my last one here. Okay. Whew. Okay, slip rope. Remember, if you're seated, you're nice and wide with those feet, and you're just kind of working on your side to side. Otherwise, we're lateral side step, under and over. Getting these side step squats we're sneaking in here, disguised as a functional movement pattern, which it is, right? Almost there. 5, 2, and 1. Okay, not done with those 2 yet. We have 1 more round of each. So that's a 3-count knee repeater. Okay, this is round 4, actually, right? Since we did 2 in the beginning. Ready? Here we go. Past halfway. 10 seconds. 5, 2, and 1. All right, all done with those. Final round of our bob and weave here, okay? 2, and 1. Remember, it's probably gonna feel a little more intense this round as our accumulated fatigue builds up, okay? So if you need extra water breaks, extra rest, it's okay. Just focus on the quality of your work and your own tempo and rhythm. Mind-muscle connection. We're moving on to V steps and rope pulls next for our next aid day. 5, 2, and 1. Okay, excellent. Whew. Alternating V steps are next, okay? Take your drinks as you need them. Feeling that heart rate up. All right, here we go. Down, in, down. Remember, think around like anywhere from a 4 to 7, you should be in that range of feeling right now out of a 1 to 10, okay? You pick what intensity feels good for you, okay? And you control that by your tempo, your pace, and your breaks, okay? All right, next we have our rope pull. So if you're standing, you need to think about this a little more than our seated variation. Tucked, core tight, glutes engaged, quads engaged. Like you're kind of like you're ripping it down. I rip down something. And you're actually really working the core. The more quiet you are right through here, it's called anti-rotation, because this intensity of coming to the side like this makes your body want to move in that direction, but by keeping it still, you're forcing the core to work harder. 2 and 1, okay? One more time with those 2. Back to V step, all right? Alternating. 2, 1, here we go. Fifteen more seconds here, and we're done with these steps. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Final set of rope pulls, seated or standing. Remember, I'm tucking tight, 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 okay? And no movement, no twisting here. You'll work your core harder because you have to force it to stay forward when the intensity of your arm pulling back wants to make it go to the side. Halfway. Ten more seconds here, but take your rest if you need it, okay? Listen to your body. Know the difference between a little bit of exercise discomfort that you can push through and pain, okay? All right, final 2 exercises. We have lateral 2-step to knee raise, okay? And 4 jabs to 2 squats, okay? So if you're seated, it's the abduction for 2. Can't think about the seated and perform the standing. That felt weird. And I always, say it all the time if you're with me every week. I love the side-to-side ones. Have fun with it. Fitness should feel fun too. Should be something you enjoy to do because it's a lot harder to stick to when you don't like it, So you got to put some fun into it too. And time on those, okay? And now 4 jabs to 2 squats. My feet are about shoulder width apart, okay? Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Squat, squat. 2, 3, 4. And remember, it's alternating leg extension if you're seated. Past halfway. Three, 2, and 1. Okay, final set of these 2 exercises. Whew, get your drinks if you need it. All right, lateral 2-step to knee raise or lateral abduction for 2. Here we go. 1, 2. Yep, and if you're advanced, you can even kind of hop it over. Hop it over. That's up to you though. Please don't feel like you have to do that if it seems a little too intense. We just want to have consistent movement that feels a little fun. 2 and 1. Okay. Woo. 4 jabs, 2 squats. Okay, or alternating leg raise. Ready? And begin. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Squat, squat. 2, 3, 4. Press through those heels and squeeze the glutes at the top. Don't miss the muscle contraction. You have to think about it. Ten more seconds and we're done. 5, 2, and 1. All right. Woo. Nice work, guys. Get a drink. We're going to come down here a little bit. Hopefully you enjoyed a little bit of a slightly spice up with the format there. You know, a little different. All right. Get a drink. We're going to stretch out. And let's start with the top of the body and work our way down. So we're going to start with a neck and trap. Okay, stretching out the neck here. I'm gently reaching towards the floor with these fingertips and gently pulling. I'm not forcing. Nice cleansing breaths here, okay? Just think about getting all that oxygen to the muscles that we just worked, okay? And relax and then switch sides. Good. All right, so we got the top of the shoulder and neck here. Let's get the back. We're going to do that by crossing that arm over. I'm going to think about keeping the shoulder down and pull it in, okay? And you'll feel a little bit of a stretch here. I want you to think about this area right back here, pulling and stretching that space between your spine and your scapula. All right, so just don't let the shoulder cinch up. Keep it nice and low. Breathe and focus on that area I was telling you about. All right, same thing other side. Bringing it across and down. Good. All right. Let's move on to, we did the back shoulder. Let's move on to the front of the shoulder. Now we're going to take our palms, put them onto the small of our back here. Pretend like our elbows can touch one another, right? Pulling them back and lifting our heart towards the ceiling, our chest towards the ceiling. Your head, place your head wherever it feels comfortable. The goal is to feel this stretch through the front here, and you'll probably also feel it through your forearms as well, okay? Just take it to its edge. You don't have to try really hard to get your elbows to touch because they won't, right? Unless you're a contortionist, then maybe. I don't even know. All right. Good. And relax that. Let's just go ahead and roll out our wrist real quick since we just did the forearms there, and you can open and close here a little bit. Okay, so the last part of the shoulder area we want to get is underneath. So we're going to go ahead into our lateral bend by doing that. So I'm reaching up and over towards the where the wall and the ceiling meet. So I'm not as concerned about how far can I bend this way. I'm thinking how far can I reach up and over, right? You'll really start to feel that length all through the side here, okay? And relax, same thing, other side. And relax out of that. Next one, we're going to do hamstring. If you're able to do this standing, you can use your chair or a step. Maybe you're near your stairs or something. I'm just going to flex and hinge and feel a stretch through here. If you're seated, we can simply do that by just keeping one knee bent, the other one extended, and reaching towards the toes here. Just make sure you're on your seat well so you don't feel like you're going to topple forward, okay? Either way here. Good. And before we go to the other side, let's just take that foot. You can lift it up slightly, flex and point, round the ankle around. And flex and point one more time, just loosening up that ankle. And then the same thing on the other side with the other hamstring. Okay. Seated or standing, whatever variation is best for you. And release that. And then same thing with that ankle, flex and point, roll it around side to side. And a little more flexing and pointing. Good. And then from there, we'll close out with two big breaths. We're going to inhale, exhale, arms to heart. One more time. Inhale and exhale, arms to heart. All right, guys, that's a wrap today. Hope you enjoyed the class.